r/AskReddit. What is considered cute when done by a kid, but illegal when done by an adult? Sit on people's laps. Demand to be picked up. I don't know. Had a tiny girlfriend once. She was always on my lap. Though she hated being picked up, people seemed to think it was okay, just because she was little. Relieved it's not just me. Why do people do this? I weigh 100 pounds and most people can lift me. I'm a grown up, damn it. Just because you can, doesn't mean you should. My mom always loved to tell how, when I was first being potty trained, when I had to go number 2, I would pull my pants down in the living room before trotting to use the toilet, pants around ankles. Something tells me it wouldn't go over as well now. I did that once at preschool. Stopped at the bathroom door to drop my pants before going inside to use it. Don't think my classmates noticed, but a teacher did and told me not to do that. I wasn't embarrassed by it either. But I do remember thinking at that moment that just maybe this isn't quite how it's supposed to go, but I'm gonna do it anyway because convenience. Same thing happens here. The bathroom was connecting 2 classes and I was in the hall. The teacher saw and said we don't do that here, to which I replied, I do it at home, so I do it here. My 2-year-old daughter smacked a random lady's booty at the grocery store because she sees me do that to her mom at home. It was funny, but if she was 16 years older, that might be sexual assault. My son did that to a waiter when he was about 18 months. The waiter was not amused. I wanted to crawl into a hole. The waiter will remember that. In that case, nuke megaton. I remember when I first moved to my new house, one of my neighbors, who had autism, somehow broke into my house and started looking around. The next day he apologized and said to me he looked cute doing it as a kid, but now he is 17, it's just scary. Edit, I forgot to say that his dad was the one who apologized. Oops. My ex had a family friend in a similar situation. Their son was in his 20s, but mentally around that of a 4-year-old. He had a hard time understanding boundaries and that people don't like their bodies being touched. My 3-year-old ran up to a large man with a shirt too small for his body at a BBQ joint in Chicago and gave him a big hug. He thought it was cute and he walked away. When I asked her why she hugged him, she told me so I could lick him. She licked the man's underbelly. Imagine the man's utter confusion when he walks away and feels a cold patch on his underbelly, feeling refreshed. Taking shortcuts through PPLS yards. Those were the days. I did this the other day. It cut almost a half mile off my trip, but as I was being nice and going around the flower beds, the guy came out and started yelling at me. I just rolled up my windows and turned up the music. I know what you're getting at, but I just picture you carrying a car door in one arm and a boombox in the other, and it's just as good. As Ray Romano said, when your kid discovers he can get an erection for the first time and runs out of the bathtub going pee pee big, it is cute and all. When grandpa does it, it is sad and disturbing. But grandpa has more reason to be happy. Gramps used harden. It was very effective. For now. So if 2 grandpas battle, does it never end? Eventually they run out of pages and you struggle until one faints. When I was 5 or so, I went to a baseball game with my dad and he wouldn't let me get popcorn. I really wanted popcorn. I walked away and sat on a random man's lap plus started eating his popcorn. I closed my eyes and pretended like I thought it was my father, like, oh dad, you got popcorn, thanks, because my child mind thought my dad would believe I thought it was him and wouldn't get mad. I don't think that would be very cute as a 21-year-old. My friend, when he was just crawling apparently, was at a beach with his mum. She looked away for a second and he'd crawled over to a nearby topless sunbather sleeping on her back and tried to suckle on her. Obviously she screamed and it didn't get far, but after much embarrassment they did all laugh it off. As an adult, that's probably prison time. Even as a literal baby it could have been much worse depending on the woman's response. At that age, a topless beach probably looks like a buffet. Frankly, at my age, a topless beach still looks like a buffet, slightly different connotation though. Running around in public naked. My 3-year-old was being potty trained at the time and I took him to McDonald's after his vaccinations to cheer him up. He had a great time until he announced to me that he wet himself. So I go to my bag to get a change of trousers and pants to hear people laughing, and I look up from my bag. He dropped his trousers and pants to the floor and was shuffling to the bathroom door with them around his ankles with a big grin on his face. Just his little butt exposed. I couldn't even be embarrassed, it was too funny. That's adorable. Now imagine that with a 30-year-old, and it's a completely different feel. Sucking on your mom's boobies. But you can suck your wife's boobs when she's a mom as a sort of loophole. That sweet breast milk. Yes officer, this post right here. It's only sweet if they are diabetic. Being attracted to other kids. That's illegal as an adult? Looks like Uncle Murray has some explaining to do. No, I distinctly remember Uncle Murray saying if he's 7, then I'm 7, so he doesn't count. He may be 7, but he's a solid 10. This is your FBI agent speaking. I quit. A baby can drink a bottle and fall asleep, and it's cute. When I drink a bottle and go to sleep I got problems. Cocaine will help keep you from falling asleep while you're busy drinking, but it also keeps me from catching a buzz from the booze. A perfect circle. An enraging circle. When they ask a question and follow it by saying don't say no, or when they wait outside your bathroom door asking details of what you're doing in there, like, do you have a penis or 2 butts? My son asks a question by saying daddy, I think you'll say no to this, but that's cute. When a kid draws on the wall, sometimes people will think it's cute and creative. When an adult draws on the wall, it's called vandalism. Unless they have been commissioned, then they're an artist, and the drawing is now very important for some reason. And then you get paid in publicity, and then hate your life. Whipping down your pants and having a pee anywhere you like. I love hearing the phrase having a pee. I wish people said it where I'm from. In general, British English uses more have a word phrases, while American English uses take a word phrases. Like have a bath versus take a bath. My ex used to say I'm gonna go get a shower, and every single time it threw me off. Saying they want to marry their mum or dad. Yikes. My nephew, who is 5, was having a sleepover with my son, who is 4. We were eating dinner and somehow the subject of husband and wife came up, and my nephew asked who my husband was. I'm not married, so I explained that I didn't have one. He nonchalantly said, well, that's okay. Cause you will just marry your dad. He can be your husband. Nope, buddy. That's not how it works. Kids' concept of marriage is someone you love, and you want to spend the rest of your life with them. Ideally, you'll feel enough distance between family to marry your best friend, of whichever gender identity, as a preference. Being completely honest with people. Edit. Wow, my comment went big and thank you for the silver kind stranger, it's my first time. I envy my kid for this. One day we were going on vacation to visit family. At the airport someone asked him what he was going to do where we were going. He had a little bit of a confused look for half a second and then, very matter-of-factly said whatever I want. In a tone like the person asked a stupid question. I think about that every day. He also pointed to a group of seniors off the bus from the nursing home in a field trip to some Blue Plate special restaurant and proclaimed, "Dad, look at all those almost dead people." Seems like a bunch of people have already mentioned public nudity, so I'll go with murder. You must have had a really fucked up childhood. The expression "gets away with murder" is a common cliche when it comes to kids. Tell that to Papa Roach. When a kid walks up to a random person and pukes on them, nothing bad happens, but when I puke on random people it's illegal and concerning, like WTF. Username checks out. Fucking how? It depends on perspective. If you are the type to enjoy pounding orphans, if an orphan toddler pukes on someone and gets beaten, nothing bad has happened. My toddler, 2, once ran around our house naked, sat in my lap, took a shit and left. Does that count? Was cute until she shit. Then it was funny after I calmed down. Level 2. Plus this will be the go-to story to tell for every one of her graduations. And of course at her wedding. Reminds me of an ATA story of someone literally banning someone else from their wedding because they were going to tell an embarrassing childhood story like this as their speech. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for I upload daily and suggest what subreddit I should cover next. Thank you and happy travels.